We are back. On this episode, we are going to be talking about seed starting. I have been starting our seeds since 2017, I think the first year I started. Knowing nothing about starting seeds, always bought them from big box stores or local nurseries. So I have definitely learned a lot in those span of years. So this year, my seed starting started back in January, pretty much. Well, actually, like the full process probably started in December, but January pretty much with some flowers. We're doing cut flowers in our garden. I did it last year as well, but just having more beauty in the garden. Love it. And so the ones that we started in January took a very long time. They are Lysianthus cut flowers, and they just take a very long time to get going. So those ones got started back in January, and then a couple weeks later started, I think, some other flowers that take a little while to grow. Yeah, like eucalyptus and lavender, those take a little while to grow, and then get coming into starting peppers, and then progressing onto that to other flowers, herbs, onions, tomatoes. So I actually shot this video a couple days ago, but it just wasn't working when I was trying to edit it, so here we are doing it again. I started, this week was the week for me to start like our last little bit of seeds, like our pumpkin, squash, some okra, cucumbers. So with the humidity dome, and I am doing soil blocks this year instead of using like a full tray like this, but it has all the different cells in it. Kind of similar to those 6-pack cell trays you can buy from the big box stores, but it's like a full tray that you can't break apart. You just have to scoop them out to pull them out. But let me get you, I'm going to show you the soil block makers. These are the soil block makers, if you've ever seen them or not. This one is called the Mini. So you got 20 cells in there, and you just pack it full of like very moistened potting mix, and then you sit and twist it, get it all packed in there, and then you punch it out. So all of our seeds got started in the minis, and then whenever they needed to be potted up, which isn't very many, like I just did our tomatoes, I did those in the last video, pot them up to this 8-cell tray. As you can see in this one, we have the insert. This is the indent square, which is the exact same size as one of these plugs. So once it was ready, you literally just like take the square, pop it in to that soil block, and it's very easy to just pot up. So I'll show you. So these are the seeds that I just started 2 days ago. It's a lot of seeds all in one tray, I'm not gonna lie. We have a lot of pumpkins, squash, a couple more herbs, some lettuce, cucumbers, some more flowers, and yeah, I am restarting some jalapeno, not just jalapenos, my other pepper plants together. I do have the other one's good and going, but I am also doing a plant cell this year, and so I just need some more for the plant cell. So there's still time. For us, we have about 6 weeks until we can plant out safely without the danger of frost. So our last frost date is roughly the 24th of May. Around here, everyone just plants out around Mother's Day. So that's kind of the guideline that we're going with. In the garden, I do have little low tunnels that we've made out of Dollar Tree hula hoops that you can take apart, and then I put them on rebar stakes, and so then they just make a nice hoop. And then we have plastic to go over them to protect them at night when the temperatures are down freezing and just would kill off the plants. We do also already have plants out in the garden, the ones that are cold, hardy, tolerant, and those ones can withstand like 26, 28 degrees, and that's our cabbage, our broccoli, some lettuces, kale, spinach, and also cold tolerant flowers that are already out there. So yeah, like it's amazing at how fast this seed starting bit has gone. This is our seed starting shelf. This is just the shelf that we bought from Harbor Freight. And then we have our grow lights in between each one. I have another one. I just don't need it yet. I will be needing it for those that are popping up. They are sprouting already. And then underneath it, it is on the whole shelving is over a heater vent. So I don't use heat mats. It does a great job of heating it that way. But you see we have this tray that was started. Just a mixture of flowers, herbs, mainly flower and herbs in this one. The tomatoes that I potted were all in this area. That's why it's bare. And those got all put in to this tray up into the next size of soil blocks. So those are all of our tomatoes for this year. Those are our onions, and I give them a haircut once they get just a little bit taller. Give them just a trim, and you do that to encourage more leaves to grow, because then it creates your bigger onion. Each leaf indicates a layer of your onion. And then we got our peppers. Up here we have mainly flowers. We have a toothache plant. We have eucalyptus, feverfew. This is our lavender plants, Dusty Miller, zinnias, cosmos, petunias, more cosmos, some summer savory, chicory, and thyme back there. Up here is our sweet potato slips that we have going. Sweet potatoes got started November. I grabbed some extra sweet potatoes from doing Thanksgiving meals with the intention of making slips, and I just let it sit out on the counter, and they eventually begin to grow their slips. And then once they get so tall, you pull off the slip and you just stick it into the soil, and they begin to root really well. These ones I just moved from the sweet potato, detached them, also topped them to put, you just, like here you can see, I just cut it because it was tall, cut it, and then just stick it in the soil, and that creates another plant. I plan on growing a full raised bed of sweet potatoes. So as you can see, we have a lot of plants. But like I said, I am doing a plant sale in a couple of weeks, close to a month away. So that's why we have quite a bit extra. And then I'm going to show you how I keep myself organized and not have a headache with starting seeds. And it really starts with my notebook. It's just kind of like a, you can say a gardening journal, but planner. Just helps me to stay organized. I do one for each year, so it just helps me to understand what I grew, what I didn't grow, or what didn't work well. So I start out by sketching out our whole garden. This side is all of our in-ground our in-ground beds. So you see we got our berries, potatoes, peas, beans, corn, flowers, cucumbers, and more flowers. And then on this side is our raised beds. That's what these few are. This is the earth bed with squash, and two on this side of earth beds that's also going to be all pumpkins. Lots of pumpkins. So we have a full bed of sweet potatoes. Around it, already planted in the fall, is the garlic, and that is up nice and tall, doing wonderful. We have our tomatoes. Like I said, we got broccoli and cabbage and some lettuce, kale already in the garden now. And I'm going to be also planting root vegetables in there along with some more lettuce. On our arch trellis this year, I generally have always done cucumbers, almost always cucumbers, but I wanted to try growing some cantaloupe and honeydew up and over it. So we'll see how that does this year. This is my herbs, and these just stay there. They're annuals, no, perennials, sorry. So come back every year. We plant our onions on this side. We have peppers, and then some ranunculus that are, the ranunculus are a cold hardy flower, so those are also already out in the garden. When it comes time to planting, I like having the guide of like, oh yeah, this is where I wanted to plant that, and I pretty much stick to it of planting where I've already laid out. Don't really, I may do a couple of different plugs here and there, but stick to it. And then I have everything that I want to grow, the varieties of tomatoes, squash, herbs, peppers, melons, long list of flowers, got onions and shallots. So this is kind of like my calendar. With each week, there is a number that correlates with it. And so this is how I keep track. So this row is the 10 to 12 weeks out from your last frost date. And that lines up with week 8. And so I just check my calendar on what week it is, and then that lets me know when I need to be starting plants. For the 6 to 8 weeks from our last frost date, that is week 11 to 13 roughly. 4 weeks out from your last frost date, that's week 15, which is this week. And then these other ones are what we're just going to direct sow. I do start all of my plants 2 weeks though early, just because in case weather cooperates and we can get everything planted 2 weeks early, that's great. If not, they can be held over the 2 weeks until it's ready, weather is ready. But this makes it so easy to keep track of when you need to plant things. Next is how I store all of my seeds. I have 2 bins, and these are they're from Michael's, and they're labeled as a photo storage. this is one. You just pop it open. You just open the lid, and then you have each individual container, and then I have it labeled. I still need to label some more. This one is not full, and this one's pretty much all flowers and herbs in it, as you can see. Medicinal herbs, regular herbs, all of our different flowers. Others over there that just aren't labeled yet. This was my original one, and then I had to expand and buy my second one. So this is pretty much all the vegetables. Have it labeled, you know, peppers. You got sweet peppers, hot peppers, cherry tomatoes, beefsteak tomatoes, your melons, root veggies, lettuce, brassicas. And so then you just take out, one container, pop it open, and then you have all your different tomatoes. I am growing a lot of this San Marzano tomato. It's a paste tomato. Lots of plans for tomatoes. Well, most of the varieties I'm growing are the paste tomato to, you know, make pasta sauce, like I said, the ketchup, some salsa, so tomato juice, tomato sauce. That is what I have been doing. I'm going to be trying and do better of turning the camera on when I am doing all our different projects so that you can follow along with us. We do have some fun plans coming up that I can't wait to share with you, and personally we're very excited for it, and we hope you are. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed our video, please give it a like and share it with any of your gardening buddies or homesteading peeps. And thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.